So yeah, let's bring our first person on our hot seat. As I said, I'm here to help you guys do y'all thing. So let me get this Zoom link ready to go. How do I do that? Here it is. Okay, so I don't know what questions I'm going to be asked. I don't know how long we're going to do this. I just want to help out in any way that I can. I'll be glad to do it. So we're going to get our first person now. Miguel's going to jump on. He's going to ask some land investing questions. This may be quick. This may be slow. We're about to find out. But in general, when we are doing this, never forget the end game. We're buying a valuable asset for pennies on the dollar. Once we have that valuable asset, we are free to sell it. We are free to keep it. We are free to lease it. We are free to do whatever we want with it because it belongs to us. Now, where you do this depends on your budget, wherever you want to do it, to be honest. And that will help you kind of dictate and guide how well you do in this industry. Often, people try to jump into land investing and they don't actually have a real plan in place. They're just trying to get anything. And, early on, that's kind of fine. But after you get your first deal done, you should have a little bit more strategy involved. Do something that's you're actually building towards. So you can actually build that, war chest, so you have more money to invest or use for whatever you want to use it for. So let's see. Other than that, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to give you guys a Zoom link where you guys can jump on. You can ask me a question. You can hop off. We can keep it rolling. But until we get our first person to all situated, let me actually talk a little bit about the sale process. So we often talk about how to acquire property. I think, at least I do. And I think you guys have started having a pretty good idea. And if not, let me summarize. Find an area, build a list of people who own property who don't live in the area. Hopefully they owned it for a while, so they're kind of tired of their property and they're probably not using it. Contact them, either mail them, send a text. You can try email, but in my opinion, email doesn't work very well and it goes straight to spam anyways. Hammer out a deal, buy the property for a quarter of the price, third of the price, maybe a half of the price. And the more you're paying, the less the spread, but you'll still be making a lot of money. So you might have to go 60% of the price. Here, okay, our first person's in the room. But once you start to sell, we'll get the sell up later. So, okay, what's going on, Miguel? How you doing?
Hi.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome.
Good. How are you, Victor?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you jumping on. So right now the floor is yours. So any questions that you have, 1 question, 50 questions, I'm here for it. So what's going on?
Awesome. I got a deal. I've been sort of slightly struggling on to market it correctly. I have it's a quarter acre in the New Mexico area, Valencia County.
Okay.
It's because of certain restrictions with the building on it. I get a lot of people I have to send away. In fact, I had to get another acre, which that one sold because you can actually build on it, but because the state laws require 3/4 to be able to build and get septic, water, all the good stuff. What would you recommend for those smaller acres like that?
All right. Well, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna share my screen. Let me know if you can see it. I'm just gonna jump on Zillow real quick so I can get an idea of what the market is. Can you see my screen? Okay, yeah, we're getting a little bit. Oh, yeah, because I'm doing so much. All right, so where in New Mexico is it?
I have one in Los Lunas and another one in Belen.
Okay,
the county is Valencia County.
All right, let's do Valencia.
Yeah.
Is this one of your first properties?
Yeah, one of my first ones. Yeah.
I can tell because a lot of people, when they get started, they like to come here. So looking at Zillow, how much are you, yours is a quarter of an acre. How much are you selling it for?
Selling it for cash offer, 1,000 and financed over, I'll do 1,500.
Okay, so here's the issue, right? Like right now, I can go on Zillow and buy half an acre, still not enough to build on, for the same price as a quarter of an acre. Someone here is paying You're asking for 1,100 for this quarter of an acre. A couple people are doing that. So let's see, this person has been on the market for how long? 158 days and out of 108 views in the last 30 days or so. This person with the quarter acre of a lot, they've been on the market for 89 days and they have 22 views in the last 30 days, last 30 days. So at this price for this size, a lot of people aren't interested. So you have two options. One, you can just lower the price until, well, how much did you acquire the property for?
For 425.
Okay, 425. So you could lower the price. You got a little bit of margin built in, but then it's not a lot because, you know, you got for 425, basically 500. You're basically trying to double your money. So you'll get a lot less. What I do recommend, before I tell you any marketing things, are you able to buy the lots next to it to actually grow your property to be an acre or a quarter of it? Like you need to just buy 2 more, right? And once you have 3/4, you can build on it.
Yeah, no, I tried, like, not really. No, not really. I got it about a week ago, so I wanted to see if I could sell it before I could acquire the lots next to it
Got it.
to share.
Yeah, so like right now, it looks like there are people interested, but if not a ton of people. And then since you can't build on it, as you said, you're already turning a lot of people away. And so then that you just shrink your buyer's pool because like, what can people do with that property way out there, right? It's not like it's near anything. It's not near any infrastructure. So it's not been, I mean, unless you're going to, you can't even build anything on it legally. Like there's not many uses for the property. So the only thing that you can do is actually buy the areas near it to make it bigger so you can do something with it. Otherwise, what can you do with the property you can't build on?
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have not paid money for this yet.
What do you mean?
Like, have you
The
actually
400?
purchased it and it's in your name?
Oh yeah, I purchased it.
Oh, okay, so it's in your name. Got it.
So,
So it's yours.
so total would be because I had a 1 acre, which I did purchase on terms, like under contract, and that one paid for this one. So I'm not hurting badly per se, but I don't want to. I think I was thinking that maybe I have to market it more to people who are more into the camping or more into the outdoorsy types. That was what I was thinking, because state law says 45 days RVs and camping is allowed, and
That
it
makes
does
sense.
got great access. But yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
it
All right,
was
so
my very first one, very rookie mistake.
no, yeah, I mean, this happens all the time. This is why I always tell people, and you know, I'm sorry this happened to you, stay away from New Mexico. Stay away because you know this happens all the time where you get property that you can't do anything with and they're not near anything. So it's not like you can like, hey, because even if you're like, hey, camp here, do this and do that, they gotta be like, people have to want to camp there. They have to have something that makes them want to be out there in the first place. I mean, unless they're out there to, you know, Walter White and making meth. It's going to be tough, but you're not, don't worry, it will sell eventually. But here's the thing. Before I get into, again, more marketing, you see how I quickly went to Zillow just to see what I can get on the retail market for property.
Yeah.
Next time you're in the market to buy more property, do a quick search on Zillow and see what you can sell for. Because if you know you can only sell for $1,000, then you wouldn't have bought that quarter acre property for 425. You probably would have paid for $50 for it, if that. You may not even buy it at all, right? So there's that. Now, let's just say you do find something that they can do. Like, have you done any research in the area of what the attractions are? Like, what would draw somebody to Valencia County? Yeah, you're near Albuquerque, but like, why would somebody? And these people exist, so I'm not saying they won't do it, but why would someone want to take their RV and park it on the plot near Albuquerque? Like, what do you think is out there?
There are a couple natural parks.
Okay.
There's the Monsanto Hills.
Nice.
Monsanto Hills, a couple natural parks. There's also they also have a list. I actually wrote a list. There's the Monsanto Hills. There's the Monsanto Hills, a couple natural parks. There's the Kids Park, Facebook new data centers nearby. There's the so actually I know there's a subset of people who prefer living a little on the outskirts.
Oh yeah,
They prefer privacy.
yeah,
So also target that group, the privacy minded side of the states. So
yeah.
that's the part of it.
No, that's really good. So you got people who are outdoorsy, you got people who are privacy minded, you got people who want to be away from other people. They probably want to live on their RV, right?
Yeah.
And they don't mind living like a rougher lifestyle. And then like, I don't know how far this is from Albuquerque because it's not in Albuquerque, is not in the county.
47 miles.
47 miles. Okay, and looking at these other smaller towns. So there's towns nearby, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how populated they are or anything like that. But this is what I would do. Number one, wait, where are you marketing this property right now, currently? Or are you still kind of figure that out?
Mostly Phoenix, New Mexico, Albuquerque.
What platforms? Is that all Craigslist?
100% my hot leads have been coming in from marketplace Facebook.
Facebook Marketplace. Got it. Got it. Are those leads actually going to view the property or do they know the area?
Yeah, pretty well.
Okay, great. And then when they go see it, are these the ones that are asking, hey, can I build on it? Or are these people who know what they're getting?
You know, there was one guy who told me, it's like, I can't build anything on this. And I told him, well, I got a bigger one. And then he's like, you know what? I'll buy this one and this one. But he's like, if you give me a good price for this one. So I might take a loss on that one a little bit instead of doubling my money, just take less. But he also wants it. He's like, but he knows exactly what to expect from it because he did his homework before coming into me.
So is he still around? Is he still like you haven't sold? So the 1 acre, that one hasn't sold yet, correct?
Not yet. There's 3 people that are seeing it today. One of them is interested. He just wants to he's mulling it over. You know, he's in that finding it. See if I find anything wrong, let me double see it and then sell it. So it's like one step away from buying.
Okay, good. So this is what I'm going to recommend. All right. So you got people who are interested. They know what they're getting. They understand that. This is why, number one, and you already kind of hinted at this, don't actually try to get top dollar for that lot that has limited use. Using it as a bonus to the 1 acre lot is a good move. I've done it before. It worked out pretty well. Similar situation. I was brand new. I had a 2 acre plot in this small little half acre. It was nowhere near, like nowhere close, but because I threw it in for such a great price, they're like, oh yeah. Because this is what happens, right? You've probably experienced this before. You're looking to buy something you want and you realize, oh, there's a discount going on with this other thing. Well, while I'm already buying one thing, why not buy this other thing, right? So it actually does entice a lot of people to do a lot more purchasing than they would otherwise. So for example, for that 425, you buy 425, you want 1,000, I definitely would give it to them for like, I don't know, $600, $800, something like that, right? $800 would be ideal because you just doubled your money, but it also be like, it shouldn't be too much more. How much are you selling that 1 acre for?
That one's going for 2K.
2K. Okay, great. So about $500. $500 would be like a good deal because it's like, hey, it's the same price. It's just, you know, smaller size. So if you can do $500 or $600, you'll basically get out of it and basically still make some money. You'll be $75, but you know, whatever, it's still something, right? There's that. Now, here's the important thing. This is something you're going to realize. A lot of people on Facebook Marketplace, they talk a lot of shit. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. This is great. And then they ghost you. So your job is, first off, find out how serious they are. Now, this is what I've been doing lately. I told this to my coaching group. This guy's probably already passed this test, but you know, just for everybody else listening, I say, hey, number one, are you local to the property to view it in person? And number two, what is your phone number so I can text you the Google PIN or the address or whatever? If I don't get a yes to both of those, then that tells me that they're not that serious, at least at the moment. They may become serious later, but right now they're not that serious. And if they're not going to look at it, I'm not going to waste my time trying to get them to look at something they're not really wanting to do. Does that make sense?
No, yeah,
now,
absolutely.
With that said, I don't just ignore them. I don't just throw them to the curb. I'm like, all right, well, they're not ready to buy yet, but what can I do to help them buy? So the first thing is I try to get into their mind as in like, okay, why do you want this property? I'm not asking like a nosy neighbor, but I'm like, okay, what are they looking for? Are they looking for a place to live, or looking for a place to invest, or looking for an RV spot, blah, 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 right? Let's say I find out they want to put a place to store their RV for, X amount of time or something. Then I'm like, okay, great. What I will do then is hopefully I have this information already ready to go, but if not, I'll, do like a 2-minute search on Google to find information about RVing, to find information about the area, to find information that they will find useful to help them understand like, hey, yeah, buying property here is a good idea, right? I haven't said go look at it. I haven't said go buy it. I'm like, hey, oh, okay, you're in the thing. You're not ready yet. That's fine. Check out some of this information. I think you will find it useful. That information could be a YouTube clip. It could be a web page. It could be a blog post. It could be something that you've created. And that way you're kind of keeping them in the conversation. And guess what this does? This gets them to trust you a little bit more, because now you've got to build a little bit of rapport. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, once they're ready to go check it out because, certain questions are answered or whatever, then they're going to be more likely to want to give you their information. Now, if they don't respond to you after you're giving them all this cool bonus info, then they weren't that serious in the first place, right? So don't waste your time with them. But once they're out there, like this guy that's going to check it out, what I would do, number one, is find out exactly when they're going to check it out. I think he told you he's supposed to check it out today.
Yeah. He's one is going out checking it out today, right now, as we speak, and another one is later today because he's at work. And
Okay.
this one already went to the 1 acre, and then he's going to
the quarter
the other one, the quarter acre. Yeah.
Got it.
So these are local, like you said. Yeah, 100%. Like as I'm hearing, I'm like, yeah, you're right. The ones that are actually like, yeah, I'm gonna go check it out. They're local. They're like live like 10 minutes away, 20 minutes away.
Exactly. If they're not local, they're not going to do it. If they don't give you their phone number, they're not that serious, in my opinion. Some people would disagree with that. But I'm like, yeah, if they don't give me their phone number, then they weren't really serious about buying it. Because if that makes them nervous, then how are you guys going to communicate anyways, right? So they're not local and they don't give me their phone number, then I don't try to treat them as serious. I just give them some couple of links. And then if I remember, I'll circle back with them like, hey, what do you think? You think are you interested? Stuff like that. But in general, I assume those people aren't that interested. Now, do the two people who are going to look at it, do they know about each other?
No.
All right. So this is what I would do. After, maybe later on this evening, be like, hey, Mr. Prospect, what'd you think of the property? What was your favorite part about it? Right. And I'm always framing it in a positive way. And they'll tell you what they thought about it and this and that. Right. And you're like, hey, I'm just, I'm not trying to rush you. But I'm just trying to make sure, because there's somebody else that's going to view it too. And like, I want to make sure that, everybody gets a fair shot. The first that pays is the first that gets it. Now, what you're doing there is you're putting a little bit of competition in there. So the other guy knows like, hey, I got to make a decision. And at the end of the day, that's what you want, because the property may not be for that person. It may not be for him, and that's okay. But you don't want anybody that's kind of leading you on and keeping you on the hook. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So once they know there's someone there, a lot of times it makes people act a little bit faster. And sometimes this doesn't happen often, but every now and then this can actually create a bidding war. Maybe you don't get more money, but somebody that was going to do terms is now going to be like, here's the cash. Or someone else is going to do something that was going to be a pain in the ass. Now they're going to be a little bit more understanding and have more flexibility. So they actually, quote unquote, win the property. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, absolutely. I had one guy who told me, it's like, yeah, send it to my lawyer. I'm like, what, you're one of those?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So once you're like, hey man, I can't send to your lawyer. I don't have a problem with that, but I got a guy that he's not gonna make me jump through hoops. And he's either going to change his tune, or he's like, no, I want you to send in my lawyer. And like, all right, well, sorry. Right.
Yeah, you're too much of a pain.
Exactly. Because even if both of these people who are going to look at the lot end up being flaky people or just whatever, more people will come. But the goal for you is to follow up with everybody. Again, those who aren't that serious, who didn't give your phone number, you send them some information, a YouTube clip. Hey, I think you might find this useful, something that they really will find useful. Don't just send them crap. But you're trying to keep the conversation alive. You're trying to build that trust and rapport, right? So eventually they do feel comfortable enough to go and view it and check it out and give you their phone number and this and that. Those who are seeing it, you're trying to keep it alive, because let's say they don't buy this property. You still want to keep that person on your buyers list. So that way, for the next property you have, you're like, hey, I got another one. We didn't work out, or it didn't work out for the first one. but this one might be better for you, right? And then boom. So once you have that buyers list, it's much easier to go to them than to try and get cold leads from Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Zillow, et cetera, et cetera. That makes sense?
Yeah. I also
Go
you keep
ahead.
mentioning Craigslist. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You keep mentioning Craigslist, but I keep getting flagged on Craigslist, especially because I'm in Texas, and I wanna market in like not in my state, and then I wanna put in different things. I checked today 6, 7 things that I put up,
Mhm.
flagged all of them. And I'm like,
Well,
why?
that might be why. So here's the thing that people got to understand. Like back in the day, I used to try to flood Craigslist with a lot of offers or a lot of ads or whatever. That will get it because Craigslist has a little bot that goes around. It reads the text, it looks at the photos, things like that. And if it sees repeats, it just automatically assumes you're a spammer and it flags you.
Oh,
Now, if you get flagged in the first 2 hours, that was a bot that did it, right? It's just an automated system that's like just trying to keep the spam down. If it was after 2 hours, there's a good chance there's another land investor who's flagging you. But you'll know if it's someone else that manually flagged you because you'll get an email about it. When the bot that does it, they don't tell you. It's just gone. You have to go manually check. So if your ad is still there after 2 hours, chances are the bot saw it and thought it was okay. Now, what all you have to do is just put up one ad. That's it. Don't put up enough. Craigslist really will show that ad to other places that are nearby that are, people are looking for certain things. So trying to flood it won't do you any good. And then to the actual consumer, you look like, I don't know, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. Now, they won't necessarily think you're a spammer or anything like that, but it doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't have that professionalism. Like, why do you keep putting the
yeah,
same ad up over and over again? That's annoying. You know what I mean?
yeah, for
So
sure.
one ad, make sure your pictures are good. And then, obviously when Craigslist does this automated, verification thing, you make sure you do it. But if you only put up one ad and that's all you have up, the likelihood of you getting flagged, it's going to go down dramatically. Now, if
Yeah,
you've already abused your account and you put up a ton of ads already, and if Craigslist already thinks of you as bad, no matter what you do, you're screwed. You have to get a new email. You might even have to get what's it called? An IP address, a new IP address to proxy into. So it looks like you're posting from somewhere else, because Craigslist will look at the account and where it's being posted from, where it's being posted at, and all that other stuff. It kind of puts all that together to understand, is this a spammer or is this somebody legit? Does that make sense?
no, for sure, for sure.
But yeah, if you do that, it's going to definitely keep your ads up. And then the thing is, certain Craigslist works well in certain areas and not so well in others. I don't know how well it's going to work in Valencia County, New Mexico. It could be great. It may not do you any good, but since it's free, it never hurts to put up another ad.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And another thing you mentioned is like you said that you tell newbies to stay away from New Mexico. Where do you recommend they go instead?
so that's the thing though. Like, instead of just finding an area, because if I just say, oh, just go to this state, then guess what everybody's going to do? You're going to go to that state. What I recommend is my approach of using your budget and finding an area that fits your budget. So go on Zillow the way I normally teach. Find, let's just say for the sake of example or sake of argument, you got like $1,000 that you want to invest. Like, all right, well, if I know if I'm buying for 1,000, that means I should be selling for what, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, around that range.
Yeah.
I'm just going to find areas where I see property selling for $5,000, roughly $4,000 or $5,000. 3,000 is a little too low for me. About $4,000 or $5,000. And all I'm doing is just moving the map a little bit, removing boundaries, letting the listings populate on the right side. And then I'm looking to see, hey, how many views are they getting? How many saves are these ads getting for $3,000, $4,000 or $5,000 in this area? If I see a good amount, hey, there's a lot of views, so at least it's getting a couple views per day and a couple saves. I'm like, this area could be good. So then I know I can buy a property for 1,000. I know I can sell for about 5,000, and people are actually interested in that area because of the views that Zillow's telling me, or Redfin's telling me, or what have you. And that way you find an area on your own, and you have a good chance of finding something that no other newbies are at. So now, instead of that seller getting a bunch of letters from a bunch of people, they're just getting letters from you. So your offers look good, they look legit, they look genuine and legit. And now you get all the deals to yourself. That makes sense?
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty helpful. Yeah. That gave me a lot to think about.
Yeah. So there's a lot more that goes into the advertising part and the marketing part of buying or selling property. But hopefully this sells quickly. One last thing is, never forget, man. A bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. So don't never hold out for top dollar. Somebody's willing to give you a cash offer. It's going to pay you more than what you paid for the property, and it's going to pay you for your time. Take it.
So
Just take it, right? So like, let's just say you're selling for 2,000, and like I'll give you 1,800. Be
that's
like,
okay.
you got to play the game, right? Don't make it sound like you're desperate. Otherwise, they'd be like, oh shit, maybe I bought something bad. Like, I don't know if I could do 18. Maybe I could do 19.5. And they're like, no, I don't know. Right? You play the game, right? But as long as they're going to give you cash, boom. Oh, one last thing. Don't negotiate for people doing terms, and don't negotiate for anybody who hasn't seen the lot yet. Like before they say, hey, what's the lowest you go? Like, I don't know. Go check it out, make an offer. Tell them that. Like, what did you think when you saw it? If they say, I haven't seen it yet, like, all right, well, check it out. Then, make me an offer. A lot of people are going to try to negotiate before, and after they see it, they're going to try to negotiate more after. That's why I don't negotiate until they've seen it. And then you're like, all right, what'd you think? All right, well, I can give you 18.
Yeah. So one of the guys that wants to go see it, he's like, okay, I'll buy your acre, and if you give me a good price for the quarter, I'll buy it too. And then I was like 1,000 for the quarter acre, and then the other one's going for, at the beginning I told him 2.5 2.4K, but then because he's like, if you buy them both in bundle, I can do 1.9K, which I can live with. And I told him that, I threw it in, but then I have a feeling that with the acre, he might not fully go for that quarter. With the quarter, the acre easily, I could have easily stay at 2.4, and but the other one, 1K might be a little too.
Yeah, it might be a lot. Yeah, I would stay with the acre, that 2,400, and then for the throw in the other one, be like, look, dude, for even $3,000, you have them both.
Okay.
Because that's 600 for the quarter, 24, and now you've made money in the quarter. I mean, it's enough to buy you dinner. It's not like a lot, but you learned your lesson and you made money learning a lesson. How often did that happen? And you still made the money you want for the full acre. So definitely throw them both together so they feel like, yeah, I'm getting a good deal.
I could do that. I could tell them that, yeah, hey, I could do them both bundle for 3K.
Yeah. And then after he sees it and like, play with that. Like, if you're like, I don't know if I could do 3K, maybe 28. You're like, right. You got to do that game. You got to play the game. Don't let them think, never be like, okay, it's sold, because then they're going to figure out like, oh shit, did I buy some crap? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's worried. But if you make it like, no, I don't know, I can't give it to you for that, that's going to make them want to fight harder for it and want it. That makes sense?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions?
So Craigslist, Zillow. I never thought of using Zillow. I've used which one of the land websites should I completely avoid, and which one you like?
There's none you should avoid. They're all good. Some are better than others, but none are bad.
Gotcha.
None are bad. So yeah, I like LandWatch, but it's very pricey, very expensive. But when the leads I get are high quality leads, Zillow's usually pretty good. But since they're trying to cater more to real estate agents, it has the leads flow has been dropped dramatically, but it's free, so I don't mind it. Craigslist is hit or miss depending on the area. Facebook Marketplace, you get a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, I'm interested. Oh, here's the address, and they don't even see the damn message. So Facebook Marketplace is hit or miss, but I found a lot of people who are repeat buyers on Facebook Marketplace. So I keep using it. So yeah, that should be it. Okay, shit, we've been doing this for a while. No, this is good. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
I appreciate the question. So look, let us know how it goes. I'm curious to see if one of the two people buy. Hopefully the advice I gave, you find it beneficial. Hopefully it works for you. And if it doesn't, shit, come back next week and we can brainstorm again.
Yeah. Thank you.
I appreciate it. All right. You have a good one.
I'll go on too.
All right. So everybody, that is it for today. Looking forward to helping anybody else in their land investing endeavors. I love doing it live stuff instead of just lecturing to you guys and preaching, just giving you guys my feedback, my critiques, helping you guys do y'all thing. So if you have any questions or you want me to help you in your deal, let me know. We can figure it out. But until next time.